hot, cleared hot.
Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing another debrief, the bird's eye view of, I think it was this past Thursday's CAS mission, our first one from JTAC training with rifle into Syria. And just a quick lay of the land before we get going. Out here we've got our JTAC, who's in a high feature, relatively close, northwest of the AO. The AO is this airport here. You can see a northeast to southwest running runway, and so he is perpendicularly looking to that with a number of threats that are in there. The threats that are co-located, SA-13, MANPADS, AAA, followed by MBTs, IFVs, Softskin. Not a big deal. Let's see, Hummers. Out here we've got our FARP. That was not used. A gun target line, battery of M109s, no factor. And up here we've got some friendly units, tankers, and flotilla out to the west. Myself, immediately as I checked in, I was 1 by A10, a single ship, playing the FAC-A role, your forward controller airborne. A couple cool things right off the bat for the JTAC is he created an IP, so he's being extremely proactive. About 50 nautical miles to the northeast, IP Tundra was up here, and down this way we had IP Spirit, I think it was. The thing that I really enjoy about it is they are on the axis of the runway, because all of our targets are predominantly along here. He is perpendicular away from there. That's fantastic. I love seeing that stuff, and you'll see how to some degree he's using a highway that just goes back and forth, kind of like some yo-yo action when he executes. Speaking on behalf of the JTAC, he's relatively new. He's got a lot of the pieces together. He just, through this training, he's gonna learn valuable lessons learned, good takeaways throughout this experience, and you'll be able to see how he really sets himself up for success. So your JTAC in a FAC-A role, I'm now taking to the IP. You can just see that guy, and now my turns begin for like the next hour and a half, no problem. And I'm at about I'm blocking 12,000 feet at this point. To the south, these two guys over here, you can see call sign Vipers. They're two F-16s, and they go down to Spirit. So he's dissected us north and to the south, and we're also deconflicted by about 10,000 feet. So far, so good. As they come in, the check-in, situation update, and they anchor, they get a 9-line, correlation begins. As you're seeing them anchor to the south, then you can see Viper 1 coming in, and they get rid of the SA-13. Which is great news, because you can see that red ring disappearing. And so now they've just bought themselves some, not time, but airspace, getting closer to that airspace. The jets, they kind of like get together. Their egress instructions were to head over myself. And so I would have rather liked them to just continue once they release the weapon as a pair and just come on over. This usually looks pretty, not strange, but bad. You can see here the A10s at 11,000. These guys are at 20,000 plus, and so there is no factor. Deconfliction continues, and it continued pretty much throughout the entire mission, which was fantastic. And now you can see these guys. You can see here the vanishing trick, F-16, technical issue. All right, it's a shame, but it happens. And now we're both kind of holding stacked over each other. To the west side, a great news story. F-18 comes off the carrier, and what has happened with this F-18 coming goes off to the west is, as the JTAC is giving information to the F-16, he has used me in the FAC-A role, to go on a different frequency with the F-10 or with the F-18, and I give him the brief and the stack. What does that mean? That means the JTAC has given me his intentions of where he wants the F-18 to go. He just does not have the time to deal with him because he's dealing with the F-16. The F-18 is now coming in. I tell him everything that's happened, where everybody is. And so his situational awareness coming in here is relatively high. He goes to IP Spirit and he begins his hold there. He's also deconflicted with airspace. At that time, you've got the F-16 comes off, a couple rifles, 2 AGM-65 Deltas. Unfortunately, they hit like a HESCO barrier right in front of the tanks, but in terms of routing and safety of flight and weapons employment, everything was fantastic. The F-18, now you can see him being a little bit squirrely, if you can see him at all. And that's just because he's moving his bird a little bit around all over the place so that his sensors can see the target. He's doing the talk on, comes in, weapon away. I think it's like a GBU-12, something like that. Great success. He stays level and high to avoid any threats. He's just about 24,000 feet. Egress instructions were not adhered to. He was supposed to fly to us. The F-16 right away. I do love seeing this because this speaks to sequential operations. This would not have been able to have occurred if he did not use me in the FAC-A role. So again, F-18 employs, he's off, and then the F-16 comes on in and back into his hole. From there, this is where things get dicey. So it's a JTAC mistake and equally the air players not adhering to instructions. We've got this guy now who's kind of breaking that dog bone pattern or the northeast-southwest corridor. The F-16 is going south because originally that's what he was supposed to do. He gets a talk on. Let's see what's going on here. Is at 21. This guy is still at 24. No factor. Deconfliction is happening. And what? Now he's at 18. He's in the descent. He's going guns. And that's because of this thing here. Because this guy did not adhere to the routing and safety of flight. And so the JTAC, because he gave his plan, has an idea of what he should be doing. But unlike what some people think, the JTAC does not physically actually control the jet. There's no problem here because the F-16 is below. And then the dive begins. So if the F-18 was below that, he would have gone below his block. And there's a potential for some kind of mistake to happen there. F-16's coming in. Gun runs. I love to see it. Flares. No problem. And then right away, again, that sequential activity happening. JTAC is on fire. A south to north attack. There goes the weapon. And at this point, the egress instructions for the F-16 were to the west. Still deconflicted by altitude. You know, I kind of pimp him on it. The JTAC does not have a warm and fuzzy. We check comms together, and now he starts going to the west. The F-18, he's doing his thing. And I don't know exactly how this worked, but this should never happen. The reason this should never happen is, quite honestly, if that weapon drops short, it'll be next to the friendlies, and I guarantee you the friendlies will not do well against that weapon system. From there, good egress. The JTAC pushes to the FAC-A, you know, and I just tell him all jets flow west. And for the F-16, when he was 10 nautical miles to the west, then he could descend out of his block. For the F-18, it'll be once he's feet wet. At that point, he can descend down to the boat. At this point in the mission, the JTAC says that he's all good to go. And he's super pumped. He's like, yeah, I'm done here. F or A10, I've been holding you in a circle for an hour and a half. And I say, forget that, the RTB, and I SIMO AGM-65s. There's one, there's two. And now I entered the danger zone. So I separate here at GBU-54 on a tank, I think it was. And at this point, I did not see this happening until I looked over my shoulder and below. And I don't know if the man pads tracks the GBU-54 because I was not flaring. I started flaring only when I saw the corkscrew. I kept on flaring, and that's where I see the second man pad defeated by the flares. And now I have an issue that this guy tried to terminate me. Flares continue. In the dive, APKWS, pistol away, and the third man pad is defeated. And now that he's tried his luck and he's KIA, some AAA there, a couple more man pads, or sorry, AAA, or sorry, APKWS employment, but everything else was pretty much gun run city. I know where the JTAC is, so my attacks are generally in line with the runway or spraying away from the JTAC at all times. Took some hits, but made it home. And then this tank gets the last one. And keeping the love and brotherhood well alive, always finish with your jets with almost no fuel. Winchester, show of force, giving him the old high five. I'm no pilot. Where's this thing at? Make my way back to the airhead. And I do my best. Even how I taxi is abhorrent. Where are we at here? Overhead brake. RTB. Next to my friend's end of tape. That's it. Until the next time we debrief something. Cheers.